With no friends, we spent all day hiding out in our rooms, reading books that were maybe a little inappropriate.
Hello and welcome to our special Halloween spooky edition of Let Me Read This, the podcast where a group of pals review the young adult books from our childhood that are often inappropriate, mostly badly written, but also colored our view on the world and how much money we spend on therapy later on.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. Because I don't have great insurance.
Yeah. Okay. There's such a thing as great insurance?
Yes.
That's a discussion for a different podcast.
That's on our politics podcast.
It's a long one. With us today for our wrap-up of R.L. Stine's Halloween party. Woo-hoo! Joining us today is Miss Sarah Wallisch, Miss Andrea Roedel-Schroeder, and our special guest who chose this delightful piece of history, Miss Kelsey Lexow.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thanks, I hate it.
Can't unlearn any of this, Kelsey.
Nope.
So last week we were really diving into some of the meat of what's going on, and today I am super excited for the conclusion of this book. Kelsey, do you want to recap a little bit for our audience?
Totes. Okay, so we have 9 characters. The 2 main ones are Nikki and Terry. There are a couple.
Of course.
And then there's Alex, who used to be Terry's friend until he started going out with Nikki. So it's a love triangle. 90s love triangle. And then there's Alex, Les, David, Angela, Trisha, and ya boy Ricky.
Mm-hmm. I have a problematic infatuation with Frog Boy Ricky.
Do. They have all been invited to an all-night Halloween party in this creepy mansion on Fear Street, the creepiest street in their little town, who is being hosted by a complete stranger named Justine. And they form into teams because it's high school and, you have to...
Everything must be a competition.
Everything's a competition. Yeah. And it's the jocks versus the wimps. So, of course, because what else is there besides jocks? And they have this they have this competition to see who is the, alpha team or wimpiest team of the night.
The two genders.
The two genders. Alpha team and wimpy team. And they start a series of pranks, a prank war, if you will. And pranks are escalating. And they include prank murders, but who cares? Because everyone keeps having fun. So it's fine.
As you do.
As you do.
Murder.
And then,
hilarious.
After the prank murder, the 2 of the school bullies show up, and then they try to destroy the party, but they are beaten with their fists by our male heroes, because of course they are.
It was Terry with the candlestick in the parlor.
And so then, after they've all gotten over their trauma really quickly, Justine sends them on a scavenger hunt. At which point Nikki is rooting through medicine cabinets and their hostess's room, and she uncovers, she uncovers some stuff that Justine might not be exactly who she says she is. And Justine just then has a dangerous accident, but then she recovers quickly because, of course, and the party continues. Nikki goes back in search of more information about Justine, because her hackles are up at this point. And then Terry discovers Les's actual murdered body.
No.
So they call the cops. Just kidding. They send David for help in the middle of a thunderstorm. He runs into the 2 bullies, and they beat the snot out of him.
Yeah.
So that's...
He beats it, hits his head on
a tombstone, and that's where we are.
Right?
Which, did he already have a head injury?
He did from fighting them.
Get this boy the Glasgow coma scale.
Yep.
You okay, David?
He's going to be a serial killer. Head trauma. Major indicator.
I know. Some delightful things to discuss. In this episode, I don't want to give too much away, so we're at a point where Nikki is telling Terry that she found an article from Justine's shoebox, which talks about a couple that died in a fiery crash, and died 28 years ago this very night.
Which, like, it's always this very night, especially when it's Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Anything that happens on Halloween, you have to, like, if you're gonna do anything about it, it has to be on Halloween.
Yes.
And
On a night just like this one.
Yeah. And so they're reading through this article and they realize through their powers of deduction that every single person at the party is the child of someone in the car that caused the crash. That was apparently a huge car.
Oh, there was two. Two
Two
cars.
yes.
Yeah.
They do say
They
there
were
was
drag racing.
Yes, as you did.
Oh, am I the only person who drag racing was not a thing?
Oh, it definitely
When I
was
was
in my
growing up.
suburb. There was like one street that was like the drag racing street.
Yep.
Yeah, when we moved to Dallas, it was a thing. Now there are
yeah.
signs up on Highway 100. No cruising, no dragging.
I lived in the country, which has tons of roads that are perfect for
Yeah,
drag
but then
racing,
it's no
and it was
fun
not
because
a
it's
thing.
safe. But like it has to be maximum dangerous in order for it to be
It
cool.
was like not a thing.
No, I did that at a stoplight today. I like to pretend that the Econo save green button on my little Honda Civic is like the NOS. Like when you turn it off, and it's like full power. Definitely drag race the BMW.
I drive a manual, so
Yeah.
I constantly feel like I'm in a Fast and Furious movie.
Nice.
Oh no, that was just third. Sorry.
I miss that. So they, discover that Justine is actually Enid.
Which is a way cooler
was
name.
on the prescription. Also, the name of Elizabeth Wakefield's best friend in the Sweet Valley High books.
That's right.
I think
Is
if
she
you
the same person?
yeah, you
Is
need
it a
like a
multiverse
spooky
trajectory?
name. You go Enid.
Yeah, it works. So, but Enid was the daughter of the couple that was killed.
David and Sissy Cameron.
Yeah, Sissy.
Sissy.
Sissy with a C.
Sissy.
Yep.
So this
Sissy.
makes Justine/Enid 29 years old, and her hitting on all those high school boys real inappropriate.
It's still inappropriate when the boy is the young one.
But
Yep.
Laura, is it? Her animal warmth.
Why?
Thanks for that observation, Terry.
Standing next to her animal.
Her musky smell. Perfume is
Musky. Yeah. Only older women could be musky. You can't be musky.
that was the dead giveaway.
I don't know why I'm a little musky right now.
Is she some sort of ox? She's musky.
Yeah. You have an identifiable smell, which apparently, and this was a fun thing that we discovered a while ago, Sarah and I started using the same deodorant, and it creeped out her partner, Nick.
Yeah, I put on deodorant and he comes up to me and he goes, "Oh, you smell like Laura."
Thanks, honey.
Give it a couple seconds. It stops smelling like anything after 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's like lavender sage. It's not a big deal.
I do have to call out R.L. Stein for his lack of understanding of like women
Everything?
and how everything ever, but particularly women and like aging, because they constantly talk about how she looks like a model. Honey, if she's 29, she's retired. Like
Yeah.
that's 100 in model years. Like, are you 13? Then you're in your prime.
Exactly.
Right? This has not never been kissed. There's no mistaking a 29-year-old for a high schooler. It does not happen.
No.
I went to college with a girl who was a Delia's model in the Delia's catalog, and she retired from modeling when she was 17.
Oh, yeah.
You have a 3-second window to be a model,
Yeah.
and then you breathe too hard and form a wrinkle.
Yeah.
Yep.
She was a Delia's model when she was 13 and 14.
Oh, yeah.
And, couldn't get work.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. I
Yay,
envy her.
patriarchy. Anyways,
All right,
this murder.
Now, Nikki and Terry run downstairs, tell everyone that Justine's up to no good. And they're like, she's doing all this crazy stuff. And Justine's like, ha ha ha, surprises.
Yeah.
Thinking it's just a joke.
Yeah, and she like straight weekend at Bernie's last.
She's like, no, you guys.
I was just having a laugh upstairs with Les.
Last time we were just talking about this, it was totally a prank.
Right? She tricks everyone into going into the dining room where she locks them in.
With Les's weekend at Bernie's dead bodies.
Except they think that it's really alive Les because he's sitting there in the chair with sunglasses
She
on.
put sunglasses on him. It's
She
fine.
literally weekend at Bernie's.
Literally Weekend at Bernie's.
Not an exaggeration.
Oh, and that's when they notice that there are some heavy bars on the windows. Oh, maybe Justine is taking things up a notch. Time to escalate.
Time. Past.
Justine.
The pacing.
Now,
All of a sudden.
blam. Like any good supervillain, explains her evil plan
Through a window.
In detail.
to take revenge for her parents and kill them all. She makes everyone open up a box containing a photo of her parents. 9 separate boxes? Really? You took the time
The
to
photo
wrap.
printers were like
Framed photos.
9 frame photos
And
of
this
the same
is
frame.
this is 1990. Like you had to go somewhere and get that shit done, and then go to Things Remembered and get your frames, and like this is long time planning.
And if she went to Things Remembered, like, were they engraved?
Probably.
I'm picturing the little,
Personalized?
like with the little cutesy, like babies and stuff, the whatever, like the memories, whatever they call
Oh,
it.
yes. Precious moments.
Baby's first murder.
Oh. I see. I was picturing like her going to like a TJ Maxx and digging through desperately trying to find 9
9
of the
matching.
same frames, and like one's chipped
Which
on the
is
corner.
not possible.
No.
Not gonna happen. So she makes everyone open up a box containing a photo of her parents, confirms, Nikki and Terry, you guys are right. Good job. And she's going to take revenge on the children of her parents' killers. That makes sense.
Makes sense.
Right? She explains that she actually knocked out Nikki and put her in the basement via a dumbwaiter. Kind of skipped over that. Nikki got like
Nikki was briefly like kidnapped. It was fine.
It was fine. Yeah, she was in the basement. Terry found her.
Also, like, a dumbwaiter, I would cut a bitch to have a dumbwaiter in my house. I'm just saying how amazing.
It's a real shame, that this house goes through some stuff in this book because, like,
It sounds like a great house.
it does.
It does.
and then also Justine explains that she's the one who sawed through the banister to fake her own injury to throw suspicion off. But she did actually fall, and that could have been horrible.
No. She took
gymnast
gymnastics as
when
a
she was in
child.
high school.
It's fine.
I really do I appreciate for all of his like lack of plotting prowess, the weird like specific attention of like she was a gymnast, so she like vaulted down off the stairwell,
No one
and then
noticed that.
like she weight lifted so that she could carry
Stuck
bodies
the
around.
landing.
Like
little
I
details.
love it.
I mean,
That's my beef with like 90% of horror films is like when they have the dramatic reveal that the killer was like Rebecca Gayheart. I'm looking at you, urban legends. How did she cart all these people around? But Justine was stacked.
I had a horrible
was
thought
prepared
because
for
she's
this.
actually a murderer.
wait, what?
Rebecca Gayheart.
Oh no, she is.
She,
What?
Yeah.
vehicular manslaughter.
She's one of
She
the
killed
like
a child.
absurd amount of celebrities who've just nailed people with their car and it's been fine.
Well, no,
No
she-
consequences when you're rich.
Yeah, she had a kid, so that one was a little bit
They had a harder time paying that one off.
real dark.
All right.
Sorry.
But I didn't know about it, so they obviously were able to pay it off with
yeah.
enough money.
Yeah, she just quietly went away and it was fine.
And it's fine.
So Justine, going through her evil plan, explains that Les had to die first, as his father was the driver of the vehicle that caused the crash. Really?
Really?
Nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
So they were what? Right? It was drag racing.
racing.
Yeah, they were drag racing and I think they like
And it was a foggy night,
they
of
were
course,
like
because
they were coming
Halloween.
this way and they were going this way and then the two cars played chicken
They
presumably
just
and,
they just came out of the fog.
Came out of the fog. So were they drag racing or playing chicken? Those are
They were
two
drag
Well, I'm
racing.
figuring like
They
the
were
car was
drag
coming
racing.
towards them and then they like one of them veered off and
Teens are drag racing, responsible couple coming home from a Halloween party.
to their daughter
their-
whom they love so much.
So much.
I mean, she was like a year old.
She was a year
Like,
old.
How much can I'm sorry. This is like a person with no children. I'm like, how much can you love a one?
I don't know.
But it's a lot. It's a lot.
They loved her so much.
I love my cat so much. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
suppose. I retract my statement.
But how much
Bub
could she
would avenge
remember?
you.
Right.
Right. Like she doesn't remember them.
Not at all.
Not at all.
So Justine has now locked them all in the room and she's about to execute her super evil plan, which we will get to right after this word from our sponsors.
Yay!
SexyHackers.com.
And welcome back to our turning slightly bitter. Let me read that. All right, we're getting there.
Let's talk death.
Which is perfect because we're getting into the revenge plot.
Payback.
It's time. So Justine decides to take revenge on everyone's kids.
Yeah, which, like, here's the thing. If they're all in high school, probably the majority of their parents are still alive. Yeah. Like, why wouldn't you just kill them?
Yeah.
It's harder to get them to come to a party.
I mean, true, it should have been harder to get these children to come to this party. But
It was the 90s.
You trusted
a party?
people.
Okay.
Exactly. Do I know who the host is? No. Okay, have fun.
She's the new girl. It's fine. She's stacked.
Oh, good. You should go make friends.
So she's locked them all in a dining room with heavy bars in the window and starts playing a disorientingly loud record of a car wreck happening. And then she sets the dining room door on fire.
Yep.
yeah.
With oily rags.
Oily rags.
Yeah.
Oily rags outside the doors.
Yeah.
Ugh. So everyone starts freaking out. They can't do anything. They're just crying shriveled balls or they've frozen.
Paralyzed
But-
by sound.
Yeah, except for Nikki, our hearing impaired hero.
Woo. A whole new meaning of HOH.
She is unaffected by the sound effects. Okay, right. And she's going around trying to convince everyone to do something. They're useless.
Yep.
But she finally gets Terry and Alex to lower her into the basement via the convenient dumbwaiter that Justine forgot about.
Convenient.
Convenient dumbwaiter is
Chekhov's
convenient.
dumbwaiter.
This whole plot, this party,
It is all bonkers.
Meticulously planned.
Yeah. Which, like, the weirdest thing that stood out to me is they make a point to say that she enrolled in high school before they figured out who the kids were. I'm like, was it just in case? Like,
yeah.
I don't.
Well, and did they know they were all going to have, that there were going to be kids from each of these?
They had a real weird party.
I mean,
like,
What if someone had moved?
that's the thing. Nobody moved. Like, nobody was celibate. Like, nobody was infertile. Like, nothing.
it's the 90s.
They had a strange
Nobody
party.
was gay because they wouldn't let you adopt kids if you were gay in the 90s.
It's the 90s. Everybody is straight, white, heterosexual that had 1.25 children that you promptly ignored.
Yes. And they were all, like, roughly close enough together that they're all in the same grade. Which, like, again, did they have, like, a real weird, like, Eyes Wide Shut party situation, like, 9 months before, and then they all had a kid. Like,
It's like a Village of the Damned situation.
Also, if these two cars full of, like, people were drag racing, like, you would assume teen movie style that they didn't like each other. Like, this car of kids and this car of kids were in competition. So why would they all be at the same Eyes Wide Shut party?
Well,
they were all wearing masks.
shared trauma.
That's how they work. Have you never been to an Eyes Wide Shut party? No, like, yeah, it's wild. Like, they all partnered off with a different person, which, again, is a whole thing. Like, presuming this is a small town, you would think there would be a lot of, like, people that
somebody
stay
would've
with their
gotten
partner, like, from high school. But no, they're all separate. They all have one child that's the same age, that goes to the same school at the same time.
Also, now all of the people who were not involved in the crash, like all of the husbands and wives that were not involved in the crash, like now they're all going to have to turn around and get an elaborate revenge on you, Justine.
Yes.
So,
right.
Which, like, with all
really
of these
getting
things,
boned here.
yes, I do appreciate that she took the time to tell us that she didn't cause the thunderstorm earlier, because, like, I feel like she did, because obviously she has some crazy ass divine powers to have arranged this perfect set of circumstances. Like, Justine is a chaos god.
It's true.
Like,
And I just assumed that because she was like, oh, I enrolled, like, because she was in high school, she already knew. I obviously read the book and then immediately forgot everything they said and made up my own plot.
probably
But I
better.
just assumed that she had spent all this time planning and plotting, and she went to their high school at that time because she knew they were all there.
No, and there's a specific line where, like, Philip is expositing all of this, and it's like, she left her boyfriend, Jerry Seinfeld, and moved back to the town.
I'm sorry, she is far too old for Jerry Seinfeld in the 90s.
Oh, this is true. Yeah, she is actually
she's not
30.
actually a 17-year-old.
Yes.
That's the thing. Shoshana Lonstein, look it up.
Yes. So she left her boyfriend and her job and all of this and came back to chill with Philip and was like, we gotta fuck these kids up. And Philip was like, what? How about we just renovate the house? Could we just renovate the house? It's a cool house.
Murder. Because Philip. Well, we'll get to what's wrong with Philip later.
Fair.
Philip.
Speaking of Philip, so Nikki escapes the dining room, gets down into the basement.
In the dumbwaiter.
In the dumbwaiter.
In the dumbwaiter.
Yes.
You know, because she's tiny and lithe and can fold up into a dumbwaiter.
Yep.
It's
one of her other superpowers.
She's Elastigirl.
Nikki's trying to escape, and she discovers a bound and injured Philip. That's where
She's about to climb out the window, and he grabs her ankle.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good choice, Phil.
no
Creepy.
Which, how did she not see him with her superhero vision?
Also, how did she climb out the tiny window in her like big dress?
She pulled the boards off.
Right.
Oh,
yeah,
I just feel like her dress is probably way too big. Oh, the breaking.
Yeah.
Yep.
She claws the windows.
So Uncle Philip and Nikki escape the basement, and they free the kids from the dining room.
Yay!
In like the course of like 2 pages. Like the
Yeah.
pacing is a hot mess.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the editor called and was like, "Hey, RL, can you get me that book by tomorrow?" And he was like, "Oh shit, yeah, okay,
yeah.
Just like shotgun some coffee.
yeah."
And then we see David stumbles out from the woods. David's safe.
Yay!
And Uncle Philip reveals that his brother was Justine/Enid's father. And he was very angry about losing his only sibling.
Sure.
Fair.
Philip also reveals casually that he's terminally ill.
Yeah.
And
BT dubs.
was convinced by Justine and Enid that he couldn't rest until he got revenge.
If he didn't do this, she was going to bury him in the Fear Street Cemetery.
And you will never rest.
Never.
So he researched the accident while I'm just reading the newspaper. Easy enough.
No. He. You know, this is the 90s. He went to the library and
Yep.
he looked at the microfiche.
The microfiche.
Hold up all the cabinets.
Wrote a lot
was
of
a montage.
letters.
We didn't get to see
Do you
it.
think that he like asked the librarian like,
Of course.
I need information on who was involved in this car crash?
Yeah.
And
They
the
always do.
librarian like
was just like,
was just like,
Oh, sure.
okay.
Oh, you mean the crash of 60?
And then later, when this is written about in the newspaper and that microfiche gets sent to the library, she's going to be like, oh no,
what have I done?
what have I done?
And he just like, he wanted to scare them, which is totally a normal, healthy thing to do. Grown
Absolutely.
adult man.
Absolutely.
Just wanted to scare the kids.
Yeah.
He never thought that Justine would take it seriously.
No.
She enrolled in high school, bro.
Everybody does that.
Who has enrolled in high school?
enrolled in high school at 29?
Enrolled
Who
in
doesn't
high
want to
school.
go back to high
I'm
school?
in my 4th senior year.
Right?
Nope. You could, I'm sorry, Mom and Dad, but you could kill my entire family. I would not go back to high school.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No.
No. So he insists, though, that it would be fine. He was just going to scare her until he saw that she had murdered Les.
Which, like, nobody gets
That
done
long
dirty.
to have misgivings.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, every murder in this book is fake, except Les.
Right.
Yeah.
Les technically gets murdered twice.
Who did literally nothing and is amazing, and how dare she?
Yes.
Justice for Les.
So at that
Justice
point,
for Les.
Philip discovers that she's actually murders Les. And does he call the cops? No, because
He knew he could talk to her.
Yeah, he confronts her. She attacks him, binds him up in the basement.
What?
Right?
I mean, he was already beat by those motorcyclists, so she probably just had to give him a tap.
And he was probably tired from like dragging around Les's dead body.
yes, and he is terminally ill.
Yeah.
And probably like cleanup and prep for that party was pretty intense.
Oh, yeah, you know Justine did not help with this.
No.
No.
Philip did this
She was
all.
over in the corner plotting the whole time.
Yeah.
She was making her playlist.
Hashtag justice for Phil.
So then out of nowhere, Justine, Enid, comes out of nowhere, screams that her revenge has been ruined, and she runs into the burning house.
Yes, with the
what else are you
strength
gonna
of
do?
the insane.
Yep.
Is that what it says?
Those are words that I read with my eyeballs.
Yep. Strength of the insane.
She fights everybody who's trying to stop her off.
And then Terry follows her, trying to stop her. Alex pulls them both from the burning house, thus rekindling his and Terry's friendship. Oh,
The real friendship was the murders we witnessed along the way.
You are the wind beneath my burning mansion.
what the fuck? Holy cow!
Yeah.
It's a journey and a
so
half.
much.
Yeah.
And then we get a
Also,
sweet
the
one-liner.
police show up.
Oh yes,
they
David
at that
did call
point,
the
the
police.
Because
Yeah.
David did call the police.
Yes,
Finally.
and then we get a beautiful CSI level one-liner to end the whole shenanigans.
Because
Somebody had to take. They took the sunglasses off of Les's corpse.
Yep.
So that they could
Okay.
dramatically take them off after they gave us that killer closing line.
and they can say,
yes.
"It's always Halloween on Fear Street."
Get
I
out,
have so many thoughts.
Bob.
R.L. Stein, please go home.
Bobby.
So, my giant what the fuck from this. At the end of it, Terry and Alex are thanking each other.
Yeah.
No one thanks Nikki for saving their fucking life.
No.
Nikki, who was like, hey, something weird is going on
Mm-hmm.
here.
No,
Hey,
like,
you guys, you think maybe something weird is going on here?
No.
You just have a lady
I got
hunch.
knocked out and hidden in the basement. Maybe something weird is going on.
You're just
here.
having a lady hunch. You're being hysterical.
It's your temper again, Nikki.
Also, let me save all your asses by breaking my fingernails, prying boards off the windows.
Yeah. That is the
Not
single
even breaking
line.
your fingernails, breaking her fingernails
off. Breaking them off. Yeah, the single
so
line
much
of
pain.
actual horror in this novel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, it was the most terrifying thing in the entire novel.
So that was a giant one for me. And then also, why was David invited? He wasn't on the list.
His mom was.
His mom was?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
her maiden name?
Yep.
Yeah, it was her maiden name.
So then why was he allowed to leave?
Cause
Because she was the one who slashed the tires.
Justine set up Marty and Bobby to beat him up.
Maybe Bobby and Marty was all part of the plan. It was one of the surprises.
There was that deeply uncomfortable moment where she's like supposedly trying to get them to leave, and she's like, "If you leave now, you can come
Yes.
back, and I'll give you a party just the
for
two of you."
That was not in my copy.
no,
It's still not okay when it's the boys that are young.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yuck.
Man, I need to reread the
Yeah.
OG version. Wow. Holy guacamole.
Phil. Just
Yeah.
what the actual
There were
fuck?
so many choices made with Phil.
Like you're like obviously your niece is not processing her grief well when the first thing that she says to your dying ass is, you'll never be able to rest until you avenge my parents.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, honey, let's get you in some therapy.
Exactly. Yeah.
And was Enid fine up until Uncle Phil became terminally ill and moved into a mansion on Fear Street? She seemed to be living a perfectly fine life.
I mean, it references a boyfriend and a
Career.
Yeah.
And lots of fancy clothes.
And lots of fancy clothes, which I have an opinion about.
I mean, but then you have the delightful 90s imagery of her being on medication.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's
They
how you
also
know
are,
she's
like,
actually
medication.
crazy.
Yeah.
She's on medication.
One of which is sleeping pills, which, like, who doesn't need help sleeping? Even if your parents didn't die in a fiery car crash and you're planning your revenge on their 9 offspring.
Oh, that's me. I can fall asleep sitting up.
This is, I relate hard because I also would not be able to sleep if I was planning this elaborate situation.
Yeah.
So be like, oh God, what am I forgetting?
Bolting up in the middle of the night. I wonder what costumes they'll wear.
Yeah. I mean, I have a PowerPoint and I'm awake at 3 a.m. like rechecking it. Like, oh God, okay.
Which brings me back to the idea, why did you need to throw this most elaborate and kind of super fun but then weird crazy party and then kill them?
Yeah.
Yeah, why couldn't you have just brought them there and killed them?
What was your, what was her plan? Like, what was the end game here? Were you going to burn down the house with them in it? And then,
And just walk away with
Disappear.
your
go back to
terminally
your boyfriend?
Yeah.
Like,
And your terminally ill uncle?
Well, but he
Like,
could
what?
rest now. It's fine.
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
Was her career as a party planner?
I don't know, but like her wardrobe suggests that maybe it was, because that is not a 29-year-old's wardrobe.
No.
Like, what 29-year-old has 2 fur coats and 3 formal dresses? Like, I'm sorry, 29-year-old means you have 29 years worth of, like, Gruber Law t-shirts that you got free at events.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, there is... You don't have a fox and a mink.
Yeah.
I actually used to have a mink and a rabbit, but it was, like, Goodwill Jane
Sure.
fur coat.
I think the most formal thing I had when I was 29 was my wedding dress, because that was the year I got married.
Sure, makes sense.
And I made sure it was practical enough that I could wear it on subsequent occasions, because we went to the courthouse, because, fuck that shit.
Did you then use it to plot revenge in?
Funnily enough, no.
Can you imagine her
Still
in her
time.
like fancy cocktail dress and like a mink, like
Drinking the red
plotting her
Revenge, yeah. At like 3 a.m, coming home from a champagne mixer, like, I need to find these 9 kids.
I need to decide what high school classes to take.
Communications 101. That's easy. Everyone takes that.
I gotta take gym so I can lift weights so I can throw these dead bodies around.
I need to be described as
I mean, I
jacked.
should probably just join the track team because I'm so strong. I could just be a thrower.
It's true.
Javelin.
See, all of this could have been avoided if any of them had looked at the tapes that she was taking in and out of the stereo, because they
Right.
were all like "Sweet Murder Mix 1, Revenge Party Part 2."
It's true.
Dance till you die.
Ha, literally.
Man. So R.L. Stine, kind of terribly written. Sorry, pal. Maybe should have stuck with your original stuff.
Yeah.
R.L. Stine started out writing jokes.
Yeah, children's jokes.
Which, like, he's a great one-liner, like, in the Goosebumps books particularly. Like, there are some fantastic comedic
Zippy.
beats. Yeah.
I want to hear an R.L. Stine joke so bad right now. Like, oh man, we'll find him.
You just read one.
What does RL drink beer out of?
Fear Street.
Oh man. All right, ladies. Final takeaways on this delightful book before we put it to bed.
Like less.
Teamless.
I feel like as I was reading it, again, I'm a creep, so like it was as if somebody took all of the worst parts of Scream, of like wanting revenge for your parents' death and taking it out on completely unrelated people. And there's a movie called April Fool's Day, which
Yes,
like, is
I
just-
love that
it is
movie.
stacked full of fake murder. And I was like, that came out before 1990. Like, Justine watched April
Yeah, it was
Fool's Day while
85.
she was like in a hotel room on a business trip at some point and was like, I could do that. I'm not going to open a theme park
Yeah.
thing, though. I'm
I'm
just
a better
gonna-
actress than Buffy.
Who isn't?
No, not Buffy. Buffy, the girl in the movie's named Buffy.
Okay.
But it felt
Sarah
like somebody...
Michelle Throwdown.
No, I would never. Somebody took the worst elements of that book, or those two movies, and like threw them in a blender, and then like threw in some poor 90s references. Yep, it's rough.
I just can't stop thinking about like, when did Weekend at Bernie's come out? Was it before or after
80,
this book?
yeah, mid 80s.
It was mid 80s. Okay. Because I was really excited about the prospect of like maybe Weekend at Bernie's actually riffed off of this book and not the other way around.
No.
But no.
No.
Sorry, R.L. Stine, you don't get credit for that.
Done. Kelsey, any final thoughts?
Therapy. Take your niece to therapy if her parents have been murdered.
Yep.
Even accidentally murdered.
Yep.
Yeah.
Therapy.
You know what? I'm just going to go out and say, if they died, period.
Period.
Yep, period. Therapy.
Therapy.
If you are the caregiver for a child whose parent or parents have died,
Therapy.
Therapy.
Every male in this book,
therapy.
Good stuff. Awesome.
I feel like we need to find some place that like does therapy to be our sponsor.
if only the characters in this
Our
book
response
had
for
gone
every
to...
book, everything in every book is like therapy.
Therapy.
Lots of therapy.
Solves a lot.
Lovely. And I'll just say this absolutely confirms what I have learned now in my late 30s, which is just stay home. Skip the party. It's perfectly fine. No one will miss you. It's okay. Yeah, what if someone had no-showed, Justine? Yep.
Yeah.
R.L. Stine's Halloween party. This is why I stay home. Oh, thank you very much to all of our guests today. Thank you very much to sexyhackers.com for this wicked sweet space and these totally awesome shirts, which are really comfortable.
Yeah, I'm cozy.
Yeah, they are super
I'm
awesome.
cozy.
I likes it. Thank you to Miss Sarah Wallisch, Miss Andrea Roedel-Schroeder, and our special guest, Miss Kelsey Lexow, for introducing us to this delightful treat. Next Wednesday, we'll be discussing the real gem, Christopher Pike's Die Softly.
Ooh. Speaking of 90s problems.
Yeah, which we'll just say the protagonist starts off by taking pictures of cheerleaders in the shower. And
Great
he's
start.
the good guy. So,
Yeah.
thank you all very much for hanging out with us, and we will see you again next Wednesday.
sexyhackers.com Stream Team.